Alright, how's it going everyone? I think I'm just going to do a bit of a video today on general maintenance, which I haven't done yet. I don't know why, I'm a bit of an idiot. Anyway, whoa. Right, spokes, good one. Always, every ride, especially if you're out on rocks. But yeah, you definitely want to check them. I've had a few in this wheel that have been about, probably a good 6 to 7 turns, which really, little bit much. So they were getting very loose. These bolts here for your forks. Now these will strip occasionally, tightening them. So just pull them out, take them to the hardware shop or a car shop, and replace them with something decent. A lot of the times they actually come quite short from the factory, and it'll just pull the first, like centimetre or so of thread out, and you just get a longer bolt, and it goes in fine. So, mocking up some of our stickers here, new ones, which shouldn't be too far off. That's not maintenance. Alright, maintenance. So yeah, generally stuff that moves is your main goal here. Massively important is your oil. So I actually use proper bike oil in. I know they're pit bikes, and it's probably a little bit of overkill, but $12. I buy 4 litre bottles as well. So that is a full mineral, which is alright. There is a semi-synthetic, which they do as well, which is this one. That's what I use when the bikes are running. I've checked through all the stats of what its viscosity is at certain temperatures. So I mean, really, there is absolutely no difference between that and the other stuff I just showed you. Their viscosity at full temperature it's that close to identical that I wouldn't be too concerned about that at all. Even though they say you should use full mineral oil 2050 in a pit bike, any bike oil should work pretty well. Full mineral, I wouldn't go a full synthetic at this stage. There are a few on the market that are quite viscous, but yeah, just not 100% sure on that at the moment. So I've been running semi-synthetic in this bike for over a year now, and I've had to do clutch plates, and they were already on the way out when I had the bike before. So yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. Another massive thing is your rear sprocket bolts. I've seen these come loose on numerous people's bikes, and it never ends well. It's always going to destroy your hub, but you just can't actually get away with doing it without destroying your hub. So they are big ones. Make sure you check these. Red Loctite in them too, always a good thing. Air filters, you can go cheap. I run quite cheap filters. I'm planning on upgrading to uni filters because cheaper filters can let a bit of air dust. If they're letting any air dust particles into your motor, basically you're going to have to replace your rings all the time, like every 10 hours or so, because it just keeps sucking dirt, and those little particles of dirt rubbing up and down on the rings in the piston stuff your hone up, stuff your rings up. So something you kind of want to avoid there. Pretty much anything that's moving, like any moving parts, just check them over every once in a while. I normally do a couple of hours of bike maintenance before a ride, just so I know that stuff's not going to fall off on me. I had these coming loose last ride, these bolts here. I actually hadn't tightened the tops of them after replacing the fork oil too, which is good. Got my front guard there getting epoxied. I've epoxied some of this up just as a, like, they're not bad, but a bit of a crack. It's not pretty. I don't know. I'm just being fussy. So yeah, air filter oil, and the other thing I might make special mention of is your wiring. Seems like the earth will actually blacken up a lot. You can sort of see on this wiring here how, I don't know if that's going to come up, but it's going a bit black, and that means the white, like the copper's actually burning in there. So I've seen it happen a whole bunch of times. Like people's bikes won't start, you pull their earth off, and this is all this copper here will be black, and you chop it down, you know, a couple of inches, and it's gone black all the way down into about here. Chop it off there, hook it up again, back to your good copper that's actually transferring electricity, and bike's good to go. So that can be a major cause of electrical problems too, is these wires getting old, and really all you do is just strip them back a couple more inches, take off the junk and rewire it where it's solid. Drain your carbies after the rides. It's a good habit to get into because it drains out any dirt that's gone in there, and also it will stop any fuel. Like, we have such junk fuel now, it turns bad really quickly. So yeah, and then stuff just like levers. I've given this a bit of WD-40 yesterday, just down the cable there, just to make it run smoothly again. That's something you probably want to do. Heaps of people snap clutch cables, and a little bit of lube just so they stay nice and moist will help. Always will help. Do the same in the throttle there, a bit of lube every once in a while. And then yeah, just, I mean, subframe bolts, another big one. Just make sure you go over everything and tighten it. And I mean, the real big things are all the moving parts. So, you know, you don't have to be too concerned about, you know, like stuff like this. And I mean, there's bolts all over these bikes. Basically what I do is I get my impact driver out, get the bits on there. That one fits these and there, and I'll just go around the whole bike and just go, give everything a couple of bangs, just make sure it's nice and tight again. They hold up pretty well. I mean, mostly it's the spokes and the wheels and the forks that you'll have to be tightening up a fair bit, and swing arm not too bad. I'm going to check that in a minute. Yeah, that's about it. Just keeping your eye on stuff, being vigilant, staying on top of it, and not letting stuff fall apart while you're riding. Definitely keep your bike lasting a fair bit longer. Alright, I reckon that's me done for today. Oh god, lovely weather we're having. It's quite cold up here, so yes. Anyway, cheers for watching, and I'll keep you updated as per usual. Alright, cheers guys.